Media. Um, I got somebody in the studios right now that has not been here for a while and making this triumphant return to Russ Talk Media. Man, I mean, gosh, my partner in crime, my my number one analyst that just broke records in YouTube, man, who pissed a lot of people off. Most controversial, I must say, American Alucard is back.
I'm back, and fanboy nerds with bullshit opinions,
Oh yeah.
they're mad. They're mad again.
Oh,
They're mad again.
you've heard it all. I mean, you've heard it all from with TNA fanboy to Stardom fanboy. To, I mean, you've been through some of all of it, and but you're a legit wrestling fan, right?
Yeah, yeah, I like all forms of wrestling. I just don't like. I don't like this whole people who just dick ride and say everything is bad except for dirty. What was one thing here? TNA never put on any good matches. Really, bro? Well, if they're not a champion in WWE, they're not a real champion. What? Okay. Yeah,
And and and,
that makes it sound
and
really.
where you're going with it actually sticks out to the basis of the conversation tonight. Um, Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, what we're getting into with Russ Talk Media is speaking on behalf of something that's been going on recently. You know, and if you're not hip to it, please get hip to it. You can help. You can pretty much hear it every time AJ Styles, who's just now debuted in WWE. Every time AJ Styles steps in the ring, or you probably heard it when Samoa Joe was in the ring, or James Storm or so such. When they come into the ring, there's that story of, oh, they ain't done nothing if they ain't been here yet. Or everything else that happened before them is not anything. And I know a lot of y'all have been hearing that. And tonight's basis of the conversation is to really we gotta break down what they're saying because one thing that I can't stand in American Idol kind of knows it. I can't stand the fuckery. I can't stand the bullshit that goes on and like when things are constantly preached to you and constantly said to you. And then when you break them down, you look at them, you back for a second. You say, hold on, let me look at what they're saying. Let's just, I mean, like me, I'm the type of person, I put it on paper. You know, American, I'll put it on paper and just write it down and look at it like, okay, hold up. This is what they're saying on these transcripts here. Now, let's make it make sense. Now, but before the internet infantry tries to debate or dispute what I'm saying, hear me out. Lately on WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, to be quite frank with people, they've been making it pretty notable with the debut of AJ Styles. They've been making it pretty notable that you know he's he's popular. They're letting me know, well, he's popular. They're letting you know that, oh, hey, you guys may hear people cheering for him, going crazy, going bonkers for him. You may see that his shirts, t-shirts, and sold out. His merchandise is sold out. You may see that, but they're letting you know that they're putting your ass in check. They're letting you say, hey, understand this. Whatever he did, wherever he was, it doesn't matter. They're making it their job to let you know, oh, he ain't shit. Now, I know a lot of y'all like, don't say that. They're not saying it. Yes, they are. Because they're saying it and cause they're saying it. Anything else he did ain't shit. But, okay. WWE's motto, American, is that, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Their motto is, if it hasn't happened here, it doesn't count. Or it's not acknowledge any championship, any run, like, because they also JBL touched on it and Jerry Lawler touched on it. Jerry Lawler went more in description with, well, JBL did too, but Jerry Lawler went in the vivid description of it on SmackDown. He said that he for those that have not viewed it, watched January 28th SmackDown. And you can find it in many different outlets, videos and so forth. And but Jerry Lawler, he basically goes in and says, I've won championships everywhere, but it's nothing like the WWE. It doesn't count if you didn't do it in WWE. Also, I'm like, okay, I get you, I get that. So nothing counts. Now, WWE fans, fanboys, TNA, wherever you are, listen up close and do know that American. I don't know if you can vouch for me on this one. I'm probably the most unbiased middle fan of all. You know, I often say this when it comes to the two big brands. I am Tennessee raised, so I'm home team bound, but I'm bred off that WWE, so I'm split. So I'm not leaning towards one way harder. I just don't. I'm not into just the phony fake stuff. You know, just trying to be biased towards one. No, I enjoy both. You know, hey, that's me. So my thing is, don't try to come to me with some bullshit. So if you tell me that no championship matters and everything else doesn't matter what you did in the past, like that preaching pretty much preach what AJ Styles saying, well, you're new now. You whatever you did, because it's irky to say whatever he did doesn't count anymore, because when you listen to his pop that he got at Royal Rumble, which let's get to the W marks, which he's supposed to, because I remember reading the post. You read the post too. Back in 2013 and 2012, they was talking hella shit bad about AJ Styles. They're like, that guy, that bum won't come. He'll need to come to WWE. He'll just get squashed. He's nothing. And they was talking all bad. They talked bad about James Storm and Samoa Joe about coming to WWE. But when they came, it was a different story. Now let's get to AJ Styles. Debuted at Royal Rumble, the biggest pop in the Royal Rumble, the biggest reaction. Now I know Brock Lesnar got the usual stand up pop, but AJ Styles was just freakish. Like watch, you can go on YouTube. I talked about it the other night on Russ Talk Media. You can go on YouTube and type in reviews. I'm sorry. You can type in the reactions of the Royal Rumble, like Royal Rumble entries, and everybody gets to AJ Styles' reaction when he came out, when people their reaction to his, it's crazy. I mean, crazy. So my thing that I'm saying before I shut up is that if everything that AJ Styles did before WWE doesn't count, why is it that WWE can mention? They could go out their way to mention, oh, he's a former IWGP champion. He's a former or just some more. They talk about Ring of Honor. They talk about all these other things. But then again, they dare not mention TNA. But remember, TNA is not a factor. Now, if you say nobody said TNA is not. Yes, they did. Vince McMahon said it himself when the Stone Cold was being an asshole. He was being an asshole towards him and saying, kind of like poking at Vince, like, yeah, so what about TNA? Huh? What about TNA? He kept messing with Vince McMahon and made Vince McMahon acknowledge TNA. And Vince was like, well, they're not competition. Oh, we're not looking at them. There's no beef. I have no problem with TNA. You know, okay, you have no problem. You don't have no beef with TNA. Or you don't have no problem mentioning, saying anything. Okay, but they're not competition because they're not on your level. They're not competition to you. Okay, if that's the case, then why is it that you do so many things to bar TNA? And what I mean by that is, and now I'm not going to act like I don't understand why they're doing it. I understand why they're doing it, but I don't like the fact that they be fake and phony about how they're doing it. If you don't like TNA, just say, it's like, look, guys, like JBL, when JBL made the reference toward, he made a reference to TNA. His reference was, he acknowledged New Japan. Then he said he's popular somewhere else. He calls TNA somewhere else. He said he got his success and fame somewhere else. So I was like, oh, okay. He said he's a major superstar in New Japan, and he got his popular fame somewhere else, because he stopped and said it, and I was like, oh my gosh. So you just can't. It'd be okay. Just don't say no. Don't say any of the brands. Because my thing is, why is it you mention the other brands, but you dare not mention TNA? They don't say it. When it come down to TNA, it's like it's a plague. They will not say TNA. They will not acknowledge that he's a champion in a second, or just say second rate company. Just say another notable brand or something like that. But it's like they cannot acknowledge. Just say that you don't fuck with TNA. Stop being fake and phony and constantly run around Acting like because when you say to me, America, when you say that, all right, no, the championship matters, none of that. If that's the case, hold up now. You say no, the champ. Let's back up what Jerry Lawler was said on SmackDown. He said no other championship matters. Nothing matters. Nothing there needs to be mentioned. In other words, don't mention them. They don't even exist anymore when you step into WWE. He said that when he said that, so that means that okay, let's not acknowledge the IWGP, Intercontinental or Heavyweight. Let's not acknowledge Ring of Honor championships. Let's not acknowledge. Matter of fact, let's pick on Sting. Now, when Sting came over, they did not acknowledge none of Sting's championships in TNA, correct?
Yeah, they said WCW championships and all that.
And that's the point I'm getting to.
Yeah, that's all they said. WCW.
So, if that's the case, why do you mention WCW titles? Remember, WWE is the main big brandy dandy. So, if you're not in WWE, if it's not a WWE title, it shouldn't be acknowledged. So, let's erase Sting's record. He never had a championship in. Now, for those who say, well, they bought out WCW. Okay, let's mention another company they didn't buy out. NWA. They didn't buy them out. So, do you? So now, are you telling me that they do acknowledge NWA? They acknowledge the championship titles and runs like this. So, are you telling me that NWA are credible titles because they did acknowledge this thing? Was a former NWA champion. You don't believe me? Watch the documentaries. So, are you saying that that's not credible? But they do mention them. That WWE has not bought out NWA, if I'm not mistaken. Or I may be wrong. Am I wrong?
No, because they have all the rights to go ahead and do all this stuff.
Now, also, let's go. They acknowledge ECW title runs in defense. So let me back it. Or matter of fact, let's go as far as if nothing else matters, they acknowledge Kurt Angle's gold medals. They won the Olympics. So if nothing else matters, if WWE is the main big brand entity and no titles matter, then why are you acknowledging all the other ones? And how's it that Sting has this amount of title runs? So basically, what I'm saying is that all of these title runs, all of these glorious things that these different superstars have done, is basically erased somehow, and you don't acknowledge it. So Sting's championship runs are in TNA are not even mentioned, or they don't even matter. I get it. Okay, so you don't want to acknowledge none of that, but why not just acknowledge that, hey, we do not acknowledge a certain brand? Because you mention other brands, but then again you say, oh, these championships don't matter. So in a way, you really are slandering any other brand out there. When you say, because really New Japan should take that as disrespect. If they're too stupid to notice, but that's very disrespectful to say, oh, only it matters here. These titles, these championship runs, their career here only matters. Anything they did over there ain't shit. I mean, New Japan and over in the Far East, they've done a lot of legendary things for a lot of legendary artists. I mean, wrestlers or superstars. They provided for many people's families. These companies are important. This is how a lot of these superstars made a living. And if such is, especially when TNA is such is not for real, then you gotta look at it. If that was the case, AJ Styles would not be able to do the deal that he's done. If he's not such a major star, if TNA did not really bring him to that prominence, that stature that he needs to be at, then how is it that he's able to make WWE lease his name, lease his likeness, lease his image? Since when have a superstar that's supposed to be now from a minor league company, he's making a major league company lease? I don't know if anybody understands the big deal of that. He's pulling a Hulk Hogan. He's pulling a Brock Lesnar. He's pulling a Goldberg. He's pulling a Rock. John Cena doesn't even have that type of exclusiveness. How is he making them lease his shit. So that means that AJ Styles, he owns full rights of everything about himself. It's just that WWE, they have to lease it from him. I mean, that's like me. It's like me making American Idol card pay rent to be on Wrestle Talk Media. Like, in order for him to talk on here with me, he has to lease, like, he has to lease some rights to even speak on. Like, that's what WWE's, they're paying him 3 times. Because remember, allegedly they paid him $14 million for multiple amount of years. So he gets that, plus he's making them lease him, plus he has the royalties from his merch sales. So he's paid. You know, which I understand why. Like, as I was alluding to earlier, I understand why. You know, he crossed the deal with TNA, because and think about it. If it wasn't for TNA, he wouldn't be able to get these type of deals. You need a company like TNA to be second or in Unisys competition, because it's making the other superstars out there, it's making them bigger deals. Because look at James Storm, for instance. Let's pick on James Storm. And this just recently happened. When James Storm went ahead and crossed over back to TNA instead of WWE, he opted out on WWE. He said, you know what? Fuck y'all. You know, TNA's offering more money. Okay, how was it that
he really wasn't doing anything in NXT run? You know, what was it like? He super kicked the guy. And that was it. That was basically his NXT career.
Yeah, and you look at it, James Storm. This guy, he basically had TNA and WWE in a bidding war for him. So that hasn't happened in a long time. When, you know, you had a wrestler was able to make 2 companies bid for him. You know, we go back to Bret Hart. He had WCW bidding for him big time, ready to pay him $3 to $4 million. And WWE was like, we'll give you 2, or maybe $1 million. But then WCW said, fuck that, come on over here. We got you, we'll sign you. So that's better for the wrestler, you know, and the family, for one, because now they get a better deal. So for the fans out there, before you say stupid shit, look at what it's doing for these people's families. AJ Styles, if you're listening, you know, I know you're thankful, because if it wasn't for a company like TNA, you wouldn't get the deal that you got. You probably wouldn't even get signed. You wouldn't have got that pop that you got. Nobody would have cared. Because, God forbid, half of the United States audience don't give 2 shits about New Japan. Honestly, we don't. Let's keep it real. You have a small amount of internet infantry that's upon New Japan, but just keep it real. We don't. It's too much of the language barrier, for one. So don't try to act like, and W try to do it like act like, oh, the popularity came from New Japan. But I remember the JBL, he kind of cleared up. He was like, well, he got some success in New Japan, and JBL, I like when I don't know if somebody was talking to him in his ear, they probably told him to shut up, because he said he had some success in New Japan, but also he's a superstar from somewhere else. And I was like, oh wow, so that's what TNA is, the somewhere else brand. So he lets it, you know, he basically dropped the ball on that one, let it kind of be known where, you know, there's some barriers things you can't say, some things you cannot do. So my thing is, when is WWE gonna stop it? Just say the other brand. Hell, stop belittling other runs, title runs. Stop saying that they do not matter. Because if they did not matter, then these superstars that made money, that was able to feed their families off of this don't matter career situation, and if they did not get this exposure, they would not be signed to WWE. More likely, they would not get the decent run or the decent funds that have been given. So stop saying that they do not matter. These title runs do not matter. You know, that's my thing is the importance. American, what's your outtake on it?
Well, the thing about that is, fans, you know, the hardcore WWE fans, they're not gonna try to acknowledge where the people came from at WWE. They started on doing that because they tried to make it to where WWE is the only thing. I'm sorry, I'm kind of confused. I got a big situation over here, but AJ Styles coming over to WWE is just it's a great thing because AJ Styles he's a great talent, but you don't act like AJ Styles just now became the greatest wrestler of all time because he's in WWE ring. He's been the best since TNA. But it's the fact that people who hate TNA don't want to give him credit unless he touches a WWE ring. You see that with a lot of guys who wrestle in other places that might be good or great wrestlers.
And it's blatant.
Say,
and you're right. You're right. I got it in truth. You're right. It's blatant with AJ Styles. Very blatant. I mean, if we was to skip, because I know what some people say, man, stop giving y'all just giving TNA too much props. But it's blatant. Yes, TNA, honestly, by all rights, they made AJ Styles. They got him to that prominent level. Because think about his best runs. Right now is so far as TNA.
Not AJ. Let's look at people like Finn Balor, a.k.a. Prince Devitt.
Mm-hmm.
Before he came to WWE or NXT, he was an awesome wrestler. Look at him now. This man, I forgot he was an NXT champion. This man, they ruined Prince Devitt. Another one. Let's just say, I forgot the guy's name. Oh my God, fucking Kobai. Oh, see, I forgot his fucking name. Like the Japanese guy that was teaming with Finn Balor.
Kobayashi.
That guy.
Yeah. In the comment section below, people correct us if we're wrong, because I know we're a little tongue tied over here with this crazy topic. So if you understand what we're saying, comment below, correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah, but that Japanese guy, I just call him that right now because I forgot his name.
That's so racist.
But that's how irrelevant that he has made his career. This guy he's a legend in Japan, multiple time champion. In WWE, this is where the big time is. Okay, this is where the big time is, but he's a irrelevant jobber. And just like Nakamura coming over to the NXT, that could be great. I don't know if it's going to be just like how they did it with oh my God, I forgot. Not Liger. How they did it. I don't know if it's going to be like how they did it with Liger, where he just did a one-time deal.
Liger.
Like lead.
I doubted this deal with Nakamura is supposed to be exclusive. But a guy commented in one of the wrestling sites. I think I got deleted out of one of the groups. I think I got deleted out of one of them. But a guy commented and he said to me, he was before because apparently I guess I spoke too much truth. I wouldn't be in a nagging truth, but I was just pointing something out. And he was like, oh, he was responding to people talking about AJ Styles and the Jerry Lawler comment that was made. And I said to him, I said, well, we gotta look at it. I said WWE's. I said basically what they're doing, they're taking a page out of WCW's book. And he was like, I was saying by WCW, what I mean by that, WCW was the one that came out and they were basically belittling anybody from another company. They were not acknowledging the luchador backgrounds, where they was coming from. They was belittling the ECW. They was belittling WCW. Like, this is where the big boys play. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Anything else, you didn't matter. They were doing it. So now WWE's taking up that role to be WCW, as far as downplaying any other run that you had anywhere else doesn't matter now. Because WCW was doing it at first. If anybody remembers, they were doing it. So, but this guy, he got a finish. He was like, "That's your opinion." I said, "No, that's a historic fact." WCW was playing the very arrogant, cocky, wherever you was now. Because if the legendary, iconic phrase, "This is where the WCW Nitro, where the big boys play." That right there is letting you know that that's a statement saying that this is whether this is the main roster, this is the upper echelon. You don't matter. Whatever you were, WWE, what is that? WWE what F? It ain't nothing. This is where the big dollars play. That's basically what they're saying. It's a belittling statement. It's a cocky, arrogant statement. So now WWE is now basically saying it. They're saying anything else you ever had doesn't matter. This is where everybody wants to be. Now that may be true, but if WWE is where everybody wants to be, then tell James Storm that. I rest my case. Apparently, he found a better deal. The money was better. So it's not. And a lot of superstars do talk about it. WWE is not the end all say all. It is not no more. People have to acknowledge that there are other places that can pay you a greater deal than what WWE can. If you don't believe me, look at AJ Styles, the living proof. Merchandise was already doing good. Sales was already doing good. So he didn't really need WWE. He could eat off. He would eat fine. But the only problem with that is that WWE, he made WWE squeeze down and do something that they rarely do. He made them jump the gun, go ahead and outbid anybody, them do something that they really don't do, especially for somebody that is supposedly not to be a major star. Now, he's a major international star, but he's not a WWE star. They look WWE, they bent over backwards to get AJ Styles, basically. And that's crazy. And you know it's going to be acknowledged that it's a TNA star. You know, and you look at people were complaining, saying that why didn't just Samoa Joe enter the Royal Rumble or whatever like that? Why they could have had a standoff with him with AJ Styles. And I said to him, well, think about it, people. They were in Orlando, Florida, if I'm not mistaken. So, no, WWE's smart. That's not you're not gonna put AJ Styles and Samoa Joe in the same ring, because all the filtering you're gonna have to do to get that chant, because you know that chant is gonna come up. It's gonna be TNA. You're gonna have that. Because now I've been to the event, especially when I'm not going to mention the event that happened, and some TNA chants start happening. Security will come to you, and they will filter. They will filter certain chants out. Now sometimes they can't, because you may have like a certain portion of the crowd over there that may be saying it, and if they can filter it, and security come over there real quick and they'll break it up. They'll be like, "Hey, we'll escort you."
Especially like in the Royal, imagine the Royal Rumble, they have some old John AJ Styles and they have stare down.
It would have happened. It would have happened.
Yeah.
They would have did their best to filter it out, but it would have happened. You would hear the 10, or just imagine if AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, let's be hypothetical. If AJ Styles and Samoa Joe would have turned and started teaming up to take everybody out of the ring, then you would have heard them chants. So very smart, because a lot of people were complaining about that. They were saying, why didn't they just Samoa Joe come in the ring? Why didn't they do that? And I'm explaining why. So just getting it out there, no, that would have been a major disaster for WWE, because if the whole crowd gets to chanting it, because look at the pop that AJ Styles got. That was historic. You know, that was crazy. But going back to it, we just wanted to lay out there the idiocracy that's going on with this ignoring of other brands, well, of TNA. Basically, the hate for TNA is real. American, it's real. Like they literally hate TNA. I mean, whenever you can mention other brands, but you can't mention TNA, or not just mention. I'm not mad about them mentioning saying TNA. I have no problem with them saying the other brand, but to take away, to not acknowledge Sting's championship runs, no, his title reigns, to take that away from him.
Well, he beat Jeff Hardy, so it doesn't count.
Or no, to even take away his Hall of Fame, to say, oh, none of that existed. That, to me, it hurts me as a fan, because I'm like, well, at least say that. At least count the number of. At least add that to the number. Just, you don't have to acknowledge the brand. You don't have to say he was this champion. Just say he was a world champion. Just say he's umpteenth time world champion. You know, same with AJ Styles. Don't just collegiate off with or close it off with he was just a IWGP heavyweight champion. And that's it. That's all he was. No, don't do that. That's very disrespectful, man. Like, okay, just say he's IWGP's champion. But now they did acknowledge it. They did say that he was a multiple world, different companies. He's been champion in other companies, because they do switch it up and start reneging and start saying different stuff. But you know, just stop saying the stuff don't matter. Because if it didn't, his superstar would not be the superstar he was. Because let's keep it right. You know, for those who want to say, well, Ring of Honor is not that big.
Basically, what they do, they're spitting on the dude's career. That's basically what they're doing.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure AJ Styles doesn't care, because he's winning right now. He's winning. I don't blame him for because he's, if you look at, he's selling out. Because you look at the stuff he was saying on Raw, he was like, it doesn't matter. He's like I'm here. He was saying, he's making his little chant, his little his little interview he was doing. He's just basically kayfabbing. Okay, is the phrase they use. He's just doing that. He's just saying this just because, man, look, I won anyway. But now it's interesting to see where his run goes, because as we close out this conversation, if they don't give AJ Styles a World Heavyweight title run, consider his merchandise sales. He's not like a Kalisto or a Sin Cara where it's just gimmicky and his merchandise is selling. AJ Styles is definition. He's athletic. He's phenomenal in the ring. He's possibly the greatest wrestler alive today, performer alive today. So my thing, I'm talking about far as all around, where he has a look, he has the charisma, he has pretty much, he has it. He's the it factor on it. So, he's all around, from submissions to high flying to aerial attacks to ground. He's at it. He has power moves such as the Styles Clash. So if he does not get put into the World Heavyweight title picture right now, I don't understand it. So comment below. Let me know, how do y'all feel about it? Do you feel like WWE should go ahead and give him a title run, or because he's more than qualified already? I'm just saying, more than qualified already for this run. As we get ready to wrap up this conversation, I just want the latest on you guys' head. Me, American Alcott, want the latest on your head. Just think about it, people. Like, let's see, just stop jumping on the bandwagon of a lot of different phrases, but you got to call bullshit when you see it. Like, come on, guys. You know damn well this man is a multi-world champion in other companies. And to say that it doesn't matter, it's pretty stupid. It's pretty damn stupid. So, but in other essence, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna wrap this up. So comment below. Give us your input. We're gonna let American go, and let us know what you think, how you feel about this subject and this topic. So Wrestle Talk Media on Facebook, T-Sean the One, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, T-Sean Jason, all that great type of stuff. American, got anything you want to say?
Next part, I think I'll be a little more lively. I'm just a little distracted right now from stuff I'm looking at right now. I got to organize some stuff. That's all.
I'm talking about any shout outs, any directions you want to send the fans into?
I'm back. That's all I can really say.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, American Icon is back. Wrestle Talk Media. Add yourself to the Facebook group, Wrestle Talk Media. You don't understand, it's Wrestle Talk Media. Add yourself to it, or hashtag Wrestle Talk Media. Holla at you guys.